Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Baldock, and you're watching another episode of the Analog Universe Games, and happy Groundhog Day? I didn't think it was going to be a themed episode, but I don't know how we can really work with it. I hear, was it Balzac Billy is his name? Predicted an early spring, so good news. Today, at least, I could really go for some good news right now. But tonight, we're talking to Greybeard. They've got their latest full-length album, Dark Age, coming out. Well, it's already out, actually. Is that right, Ross?
It's out. It was released in December, yeah.
Released in December. Oh, geez. But the release party is tomorrow night.
Saturday night.
No, Saturday night.
Saturday night at Dickens.
Got the date wrong.
February 4th. Dickens.
Yeah. All right, Saturday night at Dickens is the album release party, so we're here to talk about said new album. So, Dark Age itself is a concept album, right?
Yeah.
What is the story?
The story is about, it's sort of a near future sci-fi meets fantasy story. Is how I would characterize it. It's basically, it starts out with a boy basically who's watching the world collapse around him. So it's environmental collapse, social unrest, like everything. It's just all kind of falling apart. Fast forward 20 years and he's basically hunkering down with his family, trying desperately to survive, and he's starting to lose his mind. And it's sort of the story's about his struggle with his losing his mind, and he starts hallucinating about seeing a witch who's speaking to him and telling him he needs to save his family this way. And it's their journey through this sort of hellscape and getting towards this place where this witch has told him he needs to go. Mm-hmm. And he gets there, and it's all, he's imagined the whole thing, he's by himself. And he's...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's
man.
kind of the end.
Okay.
Real uplifting story.
Yeah, it's a real, yeah,
it's a
heartwarming.
Okay. And I'm going to apologize. I'm a terrible host. I didn't introduce any of you.
That's okay. We cut right to it.
It's fine. It's fine. So, all right. So we got Ross Anderson, vocals, guitar.
Hey.
We got Guy Onrate.
Correct.
Guy Onrate on guitar, drums, Casey Rogers.
Hello.
And Amanda Bourdon.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Awesome. On bass and backing vocals?
Yes.
Sometimes main vocals.
Sometimes main
Depends
vocals.
on the song.
Yeah, depends on the tune.
Fair enough. I did notice that there's a few more main vocals on previous albums as compared to Dark Age. Did you just want to go in a different creative direction on that, or?
It's more about what the story called for.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the story, did the album start out like pre-planned as a concept album, or did it more kind of form organically?
It was probably more organic, I would say. Like I typically start with riffs. Like I start with riffs and kind of form structures of songs, and then I layer vocals on after that. And Oracle was the album we did previously. Oracle was a concept album as well, and that was the first time Serpent King was a concept as well, but it was a bit more loose. And Oracle was like, I leaned into that idea. And I actually found it easier to write to a story rather than sort of like individual ideas. I'm like, actually, it's easier if I have a start and an end and I can just fill in the pieces, right? So when writing Dark Age, it really, I guess, is kind of a reflection of, sort of, I guess, fears I have. Like, it's sort of like it's like, what's the world going to be like, right? Like, where are we headed? What are things going to turn like 100 years from now? Like, so yeah, it was kind of a reflection of a lot of the stuff I'm seeing right now in the world, and just sort of maybe anxiousness I have about the state of affairs.
Yeah.
But
Right. Getting some extrapolations out,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's a very nice way to phrase it.
Okay. What would you say is your biggest fear among those, like the one you think is most likely to be realized?
Oh man, I think it's all sort of a domino effect, right? Like once, like, that's in my mind, that's how it's likely to work. It's not going to be one single thing. It's unless we get a meteor hits the Earth or something crazy like that, but that's unlikely. But yeah, it's going to be likely of like just food shortages, environmental collapse, like. Migration, people moving, having to forced out of places, and all of that stuff creates crisis. Right. And so I just took that and snowballed it.
All right.
Like, what's the worst that could possibly happen?
Right.
Let's talk about that. That's what I'll sing about.
Now, speaking of writing it as a narrative, the the album comes with a comic book?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. How long is the comic?
I think it's 22 pages.
22 pages?
It's short.
Okay. Did you guys collaborate with anyone on it?
No, I did that on a whim.
Really?
Yeah.
So you did the art?
No, I didn't do the art. No.
Okay. Who did you collaborate
with?
with?
Okay. Yeah. So I was listening to the album because it was done, and I'm like, okay, we're getting ready to release this thing, and I was like, well, what else could we do? Like, because I was actually like listening it, like trying to like being objective about it and thinking like, do I understand the story just listening to the songs? I'm like, sort of. Like, but I know it, right? It's like people might not connect it, so I'm like, how can we make this a bit more tangible and make it more clear, essentially? And I thought, so I literally wrote the story, like the script, in an evening. I spent a few hours and just did sort of like I went and Googled like, how do you write a graphic novel script? I'm like, okay, I have to talk about what the scene looks like. Here's the dialogue, and I just laid it out. It was however many pages, and I then got onto Fiverr, which is yeah, you know what Fiverr is?
I know Fiverr.
Got onto Fiverr and just started looking for illustrators and
Okay.
found one that sort of did an anime sort of Magnus style and
Neat.
connected with them, and they did the art and they cranked it out in 6 weeks. I'm like, we need this fairly quickly, and they're like, yep, I can do that.
Huh. Wild.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So for the comic book, how one-to-one is it with the album? Like, if I'm listening to a song, will I be able to look at a page and go, okay, I'm at this part?
Certain parts, yes. Other parts, no.
Okay, so they kind of fill in some blanks between the songs?
Yeah, it gives it more of a solid structure, like,
Okay.
of how the songs are pieced together in my mind. So it's, yeah, because I actually considered, like, putting song titles of, like, this is this song. But then I was like, no, let's leave some room for imagination here. So I thought, rather than being too literal about it, I would just... But yeah, there's definitely parts you can pick out. It's like, oh, this must be this song.
Right. Now I got a question from chat, and I'm going to remind everyone who's currently watching, you are welcome to ask questions of Greybeard yourselves. KellenBase666 asks, will they have the comic for sale at the album release?
Well, it's free when you buy something. It's a download only. So
it's not a physical comic.
Yeah, we didn't do
Gotcha.
that. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, if you buy anything at the show, we have cassettes, CDs, we have Oracle vinyl as well. We have T-shirts. If you buy anything, you get the comic book.
You get the comic book as a digital download?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I have pieces of paper printed out with the URL and a password.
If you guys need, I know a printer who's really good.
Sweet.
Okay. Let's see. Any other questions before I move on? No. Okay. So I'm going to go around for everybody. What are you
talking for me?
what are you most excited for people to hear on the new album? Starting with you, Casey.
Ooh, well,
Yeah.
the most excited, I don't know. It seems to be a bit more of an aggressive, kind of a higher, faster paced album, I think. There's a lot more blast beats and fun stuff as a drummer. So, yeah, definitely back in that direction for me, coming from previous grindcore bands and stuff like that. So it was back in, definitely in my wheelhouse.
All right.
So it's definitely a higher energy kind of feel, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. Amanda?
That's a great question. I'm really glad I got to answer that second. Thanks, Casey. But I'm terrible with describing genres, but I feel like there's a number of standout songs or moments in this album that really are just like classic throwback to some, like let's say some thrash and other things. So, but again, I'm terrible with genres, so you'll just have to come and hear it.
Fair enough. Ross?
I think, yeah, like Casey mentioned, I deliberately tried to write stuff that was a bit more aggressive this time around. I was trying to get a bit more aggro on some of the songs. So, and that's cool. And I think there's some really good aggressive parts to songs. Like Terra Umbra has, I think there's some really good, cool, aggressive parts to it and lots of cool dynamics. That song I think is really a standout. But My hidden gem on the album is actually Beneath, and that's the one Amanda sings. That song to me has, I think, really nice dynamics. Everyone plays really well, and it like I think it's. I don't want to sound like a toot my own horn here, but I think it's really well written. Like the way it kind of moves through the song and kind of builds towards the ending. I think it's really cool. So I just and the main sort of pretty haunting, ominous guitar thing, I think is really nice sounding. I hear it, I'm like, that's pretty.
I mean, yeah, it is.
In a very melancholy sort of.
It is a
I
pretty
wanna
song.
Kill myself kill myself kind of way.
Right. Little. I don't want to say "Don't Fear the Reaper," but there is like the morbidly beautiful kind of aspect to it. Yeah. And what about you, Guy?
Highlights. I like the parts where Casey and I play together a lot. Like he's playing blast beats and I'm playing a lot of trem picking stuff.
Yeah.
I really like the song 1000 Years of Night. That's to kind of reiterate what everyone else said. Way heavier album than before. And that's probably the heaviest song. It has the heaviest moments, I think.
Right.
Real headbanger.
Nice.
Fun to play.
Okay, so talking about the sound of the album, that is much heavier. So you guys have said in past interviews that your influences are kind of all over the place. So you've got Iron Maiden, Van Halen, Mastodon, Meshuggah. Amanda, you've also said that you're into like pop and jazz music. So is there any kind of like new influences you kind of drew on for this album? Question for everybody.
I really like what Jeff Loomis has been doing with Arch Enemy.
Okay.
I've been a fan of Jeff Loomis for a long time.
Sorry to interrupt. Have you heard what he did with Cavan, that Swedish dude?
I think so, yeah.
That track he did with him, I think it's not Cauldron of Plagues, another one, but yeah, his work on that is top notch.
Yeah, that's probably what I've been listening to the most, getting back into when we were going to record and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listening to a lot of,
Nice.
Jeff Loomis.
Okay. You said this was definitely more like within your wheelhouse. So like, what did you
Well,
draw
I mean,
upon more?
playing lots of blast beats and more aggressive kind of stuff. Whereas the previous albums and EPs were a lot more groove and kind of rock feels and kind of old school metal feels. I feel this one's definitely a lot more aggressive and pulls lots of that. A little bit from extreme sort of metal, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Amanda?
Honestly, I'm just keeping up with the band. I'm listening to you guys, and I'm getting in where I fit in, and that's I've got my own little flair. It just comes from here, there, and everywhere.
Okay. And I'm curious what you may have pulled from narratively for your inspiration.
Oh, well, like I said, I was inspired by reality primarily. Like there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, and it's hard not to be like overwhelmed feeling by it. So it was primarily pulled from reality, but ironically, I never played Last of Us, but watching the show, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like our album. Great.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, it made me laugh when I started watching the show. I'm like, oh great, these are kind of the scenes I had in my head.
Yeah, I saw some of the images that you guys teased from the comic book, and I was like, this kind of reminds me of a little bit like Boy and His Dog, kind of like post-apocalyptic sort of stories. I don't know if you guys have, like the imagery you've got with the rocks and the sun for the album. I'm not sure if Francis is able to get a camera shot of this or put it up on the screen. But have you ever seen the movie Noah?
No.
It's a retelling of Noah's Ark, but as like an epic fantasy movie.
Cool.
So it's not strictly biblical, pulls a lot of like apocrypha to kind of give it those fantasy elements. And yeah, the world is been destroyed by people taking and not, trying to keep things together. And yeah, just the imagery kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the other thing I was going to add was like obviously current events. I wasn't aware of Last of Us, but thinking about it, I was like, this kind of feels like it's part. Like definitely you could draw a parallel or like strings towards like The Stand or something like that, right? Where it's like, oh, it's like the last of humanity, kind of that type of thing.
Right. So. Yeah, totally. So Casey, you produced previous albums for Greybeard, correct?
All but this one, yeah.
So for this one, you guys went to Scott at Colossus.
Yeah.
How How much of a learning curve was that going from like the DIY method to full studio?
Well, I wouldn't say learning curve is the right term. I would say relief. It was very freeing to be able to just only focus on drums, get in and do my part, and then just kind of step back. And it just expedited the whole process too, because Scott does this. It's his job. It's what he does.
Right.
And we were able to get it all done, all the tracking done in what, a week and a half?
week.
Yeah,
Something
it's
like
a
that.
was a
speed
week.
process.
It's a week.
All right.
And whereas when I have to do, we have to, I got a full-time job and other bands and stuff like that, and it just takes a long time.
Fair enough.
So it was a very quick and efficient process, and
Okay.
and it was very freeing for me just to be able to go in and just throw down my parts. And I did all my drums in a weekend, and then just step back and.
Yeah, Scott said you're a machine. He was like he told me, he's like, Casey's a freaking machine. Like he just was like done. And it's like awesome.
Yeah. How about for you guys?
It was really fun working with Scott.
Scott's great
he's
to
a
work
cool
with.
guy.
Yeah.
A guitar player too, so Ross and I
Dude
connected
can
with
shred.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
He's got 2 solos on the album actually.
Oh,
him and I
nice.
traded on the last.
Okay, that's
last
curious
song.
because my next question was like sometimes when I talk to bands, they talk about like having like a professional producer with them. It's like adding a member of the band temporarily for that album. How much influence do you feel like Scott added to the sound of the album?
For my parts, I already knew what my parts were. I went
Right.
and recorded them. Not sure if anyone else.
I went in. I had all my parts written as well, and it was nice to have another set of ears picking out whatever wasn't working.
Okay.
And he, didn't really have to do a whole lot. There was times where I, was pushing or pulling on the click too much, and it wasn't. It was a great experience. I had a good
Nice.
time. Yeah.
Any challenges you guys ran into in recording, or was it just buttery smooth?
It was pretty smooth.
it was
I mean,
pretty slick.
Yeah, it was pretty
my
smooth,
voice
yeah.
gave out on first night of vocals because I'm good for about 90 minutes would probably be like a good night. 2 hours would be amazing, but after about I was coming in between an hour and 90 minutes, and I remember I was trying to do one of my growl yell things, and it was just like, and he's like, yeah, let's just stop there.
Right.
Yeah, so I came back. The next day I came back and got most of it done.
Okay. Any major wins you'd say during recording?
Honestly, for me, it was just really fun to just spontaneously play around with the vocals,
Yeah.
the vocal parts that you hear. Well, something like this, and like we haven't really hammered it out, and we just
Yeah, that part we kind of improvised, like the whole beginning of Dark Age when Amanda does all those beautiful sort of harmonies. I had that in my brain, and I was like, hey, we should try this.
Yeah.
Because I know you can do it. I'm like, we should do this. and yeah, it turned out amazing, because I think that's really another really cool sort of atmospheric piece of the album. The beginning of that song is pretty awesome.
that was another great thing about working with Scott too, is that he just like, oh, can you try this, and we'll try these different things, and then just but kept it streamlined and focused, and we just got it done, and it was like, oh wow, we just did that, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, for everyone watching at home, the album is available on streaming services. So if you want to hear what we're talking about while we're discussing the various songs, you can pop it on in the background while we talk. You guys are older as far as bands go.
We're ancient.
Actually, Julie asked in the chat who has the grayest beard, and I mean,
I'm-
I can tell you right now, it's
me.
in the room. It's Ross. Who has the grayest beard of them all? I'm not sure.
Probably me.
I got a couple of whiteys coming.
I've got a whole face of whiteys.
So you got careers, you got families.
Yeah.
Any plans for a tour to support the album?
Not at this point, no.
No?
We're pretty. I know personally, like I've got a very full-time job.
Yeah,
Very
that's fair.
Full-time kids, and my son is graduating high school this year, and there's all sorts of things happening.
Okay, so rewinding way back, Ross.
Yeah.
Greybeard started as like your sort of basement solo-y
Yeah, it was
project.
just a project thing.
With some assistance from Casey.
All the assistants.
How did you two originally meet?
It's funny. I had sort of spun up what I called a dad hardcore band in the
Dadcore.
dadcore band
Hardcore
and
dad.
mid 2000s, and our drummer Shane, who was a mutual friend with Casey and Amanda, was
your
actually
roommate.
roommate. Yeah, so
Ah.
he connected me with Casey because we did some recording. We did a couple things with you, I think.
Well, we did
One
the
at least.
Hope Defeated album at our place.
Yep. Yeah, so we did at least one recording. Yeah, it was just the one with Casey, and then Hope Defeated fizzled out, and I was like, I have these kind of metal songs, and I'd never actually been in a metal band before. I loved metal for most of my life, and just never done it. So I'm like, hey, do you want to record this stuff for me? And away we went.
Nice. Now, Casey, you've got an absolutely crazy resume of Calgary metal bands. You've got Exit Strategy, Black Sky, Mares of Thrace, Caveat. How do you keep it like fresh for yourself? Like, how do you keep it interesting between all these different projects? Like, obviously, some of those aren't no longer in existence, but currently you've got Caveat, Mares of Thrace. Yeah.
Well, as a kind of sideman and I enjoy contributing to other artists, to other people's vision, and it just kind of works for me to, I don't know, I keep it fresh, I guess, by just playing around and being a huge band whore. And
Drummers, man.
I know.
Drummers.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you're good. But, keeping it fresh, I don't know, just keep doing new things and not really kind of wearing anything out, I guess. I don't know. All the bands I've been in have been with my friends, and it's always been as much of a friendship as it is a band.
Right. It's all
And,
about the hang, the
yeah.
music, and the money. So it sounds like you got the hang down.
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough
Money's
to have
gonna come, man. Money's gonna come.
very, very little drama with any of these bands, and not just as a drummer. I've also played bass in a band called Truck for a long time too, and just trying new things and just kind of not sticking to one thing in particular for.
Right.
Well, I mean, I've been doing Caveat for like 20 some odd years, but it's come and gone. Some of the bands like that, and I mean, Caveat got put on the shelf for a while, and we came back to it.
Which I'm so happy about.
Yeah. But I find just to keep it fresh, I don't know, just keep doing new things is
That's fair.
And meeting new people and yeah.
All right. Guy, how did you come into the fold?
Russ started taking guitar lessons from me.
Really?
When,
All right.
when Casey and Russ were doing, what was the first EP called?
Gaze into the empty.
Yeah. You didn't come on until
No, the second
Second.
one.
Yeah.
one,
Yeah, I quickly realized that my lead chops weren't as good as they needed to be, and so I literally Googled Calgary guitar teacher and found him. Like it was
First result, like you really got your Google
kinda-
Analytics down?
I think he was top of the list, very
All
near
right.
the top. Like, and it wasn't even an ad. But yeah, I connected through him that way, and yeah, I'll let you finish.
Well, that was the story right there. That is it.
So it's like I was looking for lessons, but I found a guitarist. Yeah.
Well,
we
no,
didn't even meet when you just sent tracks for the
yeah,
for the first for Built to
That's
Destroy.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he-
I'm like, who is this
You
animal?
just recorded it yourself and sent it to me. Like, who is this guy?
So Amanda, you said you were someone's roommate?
Oh, no, Casey and I are a couple, and we were
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
living together, and yeah.
So Casey brought you in.
No,
think-
Ross did.
I think
Ross did.
Ross
I
had.
just, listening to the music, being born and hearing the tracks over and over as you do when, you're
when
like
we were
mixing
recording
and
with Casey,
recording
it
and
is-
mastering. So
she was there all the time.
Yeah.
So.
I was just like,
Gotcha.
oh man, I really dig this. Like, you guys don't play shows? Like, what? Ross,
Well-
you should play shows.
Well,
And so
you
I'm
know
like,
what's
if you
funny?
ever need a
Between
bass player.
you, but Guy is actually the guy who made us really become a band.
Yeah.
Because he was the guy who's like, we need to play shows.
And I was like, yeah,
To the
Guy.
people.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because
Let's,
I know Casey and I were kind of like, well,
Yeah.
I'm already in 47 bands.
Yeah,
so-
I'm like-
It took,
yeah.
Apocalyptic, the
so-
power of two, you and Miki.
Yeah, these two.
Yes, that's
why we're
right.
playing
Absolutely.
live.
Sorry, you don't have a choice. We are a band now. Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually have a question from the chat. When will Casey clone himself in order to become the best rhythm section in Calgary?
Yeah.
When the technology exists.
When the technology,
Get
they'll be on it.
Hologram
Yeah.
machine, man.
Get on.
Like, how much could they be? Like,
Yeah. We'll get in there.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys are working with Wasted Wax Records, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Oh, no.
No, they didn't want to release this. So.
They didn't want to release it. Okay, well, scrap that question entirely.
Next question, please.
Whoa,
Next
whoa.
question.
Okay, so
Pass.
if you guys each had to pick a favorite song off the album, you already talked about Beneath, but if you had to pick a favorite one of yours, whether it's super fun to play or super fun to listen to, which one would it be, Guy?
1,000 Years of Night.
Already
Really like
discussed that,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got killer riffs, crazy heavy sections, quieter sections. It's got it all.
It's got it all. It's got everything.
Yeah.
Ross?
Beneath is my secret favorite. My
It's not so secret anymore.
my not secret favorite is probably Light from a Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that song's got lots of cool parts. And when it comes out of the sort of jangly, strummy part where I yell, when I play it live, I'm like, ooh, that's fun. Or when I rehearse it, we haven't played it live ever. But when I rehearse it,
Saturday. Yeah.
that one's my not so secret favorite.
Okay. Amanda?
Vultures.
Ooh, all right. And that was one of the
Vultures.
singles you guys released
Yep.
early on. Yeah. Casey?
I enjoy Baron, actually. It's just pretty straight ahead groove, but I really love just bashing it away, and it's got one of my favorite kind of fills that I've ever written,
Nice.
kind of in the midsection. I like it so much I did it twice in the song. So it's I really enjoy playing that one.
Nice. Okay, so we're about halfway through our stream. One thing that I do on the show is I'm never going to have a sponsor. I'm my own sponsor. But just to sort of lampoon the concept, we have fake companies sponsor the show, and I don't know the companies ahead of time, and I improvise the sponsor message.
Is this theater sports?
Little bit of improv.
Get ready.
Wow.
We're all like, okay.
No,
God,
so
oh God.
unfortunately, I forgot to bring the basket of names. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask chat while we're talking about my next question. Think of a fictional company and a slogan for them, and after we finish this next question, I will come up with a fake sponsor message.
Sounds awesome.
Deal.
You don't need us to do anything for this.
You guys
Okay,
don't have to do
perfect.
anything. I mean,
thank God.
if you think of something, feel free to jump in.
Okay.
But all right, so if you guys wanted to play any festival in the world, what would it be, Casey?
Well, there's the biggest one is Wacken. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or one of those cruises, 70,000 tons would be pretty
Which
sweet.
is going
Yeah,
right
It's
now.
happening right now.
Yeah, Siren's playing that, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Osiris is
They-
playing
they-
that.
They did play it.
Yeah.
I think they've already gone on.
Yes,
It
I
has
believe you're
happened.
correct.
I think they played twice, too.
Yeah, I think they played 2 sets.
Dang.
Yeah,
Got to earn your keep on that ship.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No one rides for free.
No?
All right, Amanda looks like she's still thinking. Let's go
Oh,
to you,
yeah,
Ross.
Whacking.
Whacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, it doesn't get bigger, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
pretty much. Yeah, that's the top.
I really want to go to Germany, so yeah. No, but for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Walking for you as well.
Oh yes.
Okay, Walking. Okay, so you guys got to play the Walking Metal Battle then.
We did.
Not this year.
Not
We-
this year, no.
Yeah, I think we did.
I was
it
just saying you
like-
got
years
it.
ago.
You're like, oh,
Did we not?
No, Greybeard's never
Oh,
done
okay.
it.
I'm in too many bands.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
discussed, and in case he was like, nah. I'm too busy.
Okay,
There,
it's the
done that.
Walking Metal Battle Casey edition. And it's just all the bands have Casey. Casey, we're getting Casey to go.
It's a win-win for me.
you'd
Win,
be
win,
so
win.
exhausted.
Yeah.
That would be very tired and sweaty and stinky.
Yeah, I mean, like you're doing double duty on Saturday night. Mare's-
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you at least have like a break in between, or is it just Mare's Greybeard?
It's Mares and then Greybeard,
No.
and maybe a 5-minute beer in between.
Well.
Or maybe not beer. Beer tires me out these days because I'm old.
Well, all I can say is good luck, buddy.
I've done it before.
You got it.
Yeah.
I've been a band whore for a long time. I've done double sets.
Okay, now let's
I'm prepared.
let's get to know you guys a little more personally. What interests do you guys have outside of music?
Well, I I'm what they call a triple threat.
Oh,
No, I feel very cheesy saying that, but I.
Triple threat.
it's a sing, dance, and act. I believe.
Yeah. That's just I'm an arts
And you play an
department.
instrument. You're a quadruple threat.
Sure. Yeah. Lots of interest in the arts for sure. I'm also pretty passionate about local food markets, and I love to cook.
I love me Crossroads and Avenida.
Yeah. I just kind of coo over the squash and the vegetables. I'm into it.
Yeah.
And she's a very good cook.
Oh, well, so are you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Ross, what are you into?
Bicycles.
Yeah?
I ride lots and lots of bicycles. Yeah.
Motorized and not motorized?
Non-motorized.
Only
just
non-motorized.
Pedal bikes, bicycles.
How do you feel about these like electric bikes that are plaguing the downtown?
I'm going to classify myself as a bit of a bike snob.
Ah.
Because I feel at this point in my life, I'm still able to pedal it myself and use my own power. I don't need a battery yet. I love the fact that e-bikes open up bicycles to more people. Like when I see older people riding e-bikes, I'm like, right on, good for you. This bike is probably a big reason why you're out here, which is awesome. But yeah, I pedal bikes. I've been riding pedal bikes for most of my life. I used to race bicycles. Yeah. I don't know, yeah.
So like long haul marathons, or is there
I
speed
did
racing?
mountain biking races. I did some road racing.
Okay.
I'm actually planning on doing a crazy bike ride next summer of 2024. Me and a couple other guys are riding from Banff to the Mexican border over the Great Divide.
So cool.
Damn.
So cool.
Yeah,
That's wild.
it's gonna be something else.
Yeah, I'll bet. So when you say Mexico border, like you're going to like Tijuana or
Antelope Wells, New Mexico. It is in the middle of fucking nowhere, but it is literally, it's like not quite a straight shot, but you're basically on dirt roads for almost the whole way. So it's not like highways really or anything. It's
right.
like I'm going to be on a modified mountain bike I have to carry all my own stuff, like tent, sleeping bag, all that stuff. So it's going to be epic.
Damn. Yeah. Epic's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I have to up my mileage this year because it's going to be about 40. I think it's like 4,300 clicks in about a month.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. My legs just got sore.
Bikes.
I'm winded just thinking about it.
Okay, and Guy, you teach guitar. Any interests
Sure do.
outside?
All guitar all the time.
All guitar all the time. Nothing but guitar. Eat,
No,
breathe, sleep, drink?
I like martial arts in general.
Really?
Yeah, I boxed for a while.
Okay.
Well, I've done it a few times on and off, like 2 years on.
Right. Do you
2
go
years
to
off
like a
kind of
boxing
thing.
gym or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not now. Not currently, but I have done that many times over the years. And I'm also into cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Classic, hot rod.
I like German super sedans.
Ooh. Oh, that's
He owns one.
that's specific. Okay.
Yeah, there's something cool about a limo that can drag race and drift and what have you.
Sweet.
Is that what a super sedan is? You have to forgive me. I'm not a car person.
Yeah, like a M5 or a E63 or something like that.
I know those letters and numbers. Yeah.
4 doors, big engine.
Tinted windows. Mafia.
Full of beef.
Nice. Okay, so I've got a couple of fake sponsors in the chat.
Oh, here we
so,
go. Let me hear it.
all right. We're gonna do. Let's do stank strings, the zestiest string in the business. If you're not playing on a stank string, then well, they can't smell you from the back. Good music smells bad. I don't know. Have you guys not seen people playing on stage? Good music smells bad.
My favorite is going to hug your friends after a show, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sweaty." It's like, I know, like, I know that.
Well, if you see someone playing a solo on stage and they're not going,
The stank face.
yeah, stank face. Yeah, exactly. Good music smells
it does,
bad,
yeah.
and your music will stink even more
Yeah.
with stank strings. All right, cool. There's the fake sponsor message.
Well
Thank
done,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kellen Bay 666
Stank string.
for the band name for the company.
Casey's gonna write a jingle.
Okay, so this might be a bit of a silly question, but I really want you guys to entertain the notion. So similar to Mike Patton and Buzz Osborne's Melvin's Phantomas Big Band, what are the chances of a Caveat Greybeard collaboration?
Isn't this already that?
Kind of.
This is kind of already.
Yeah, we're already there, man.
Yeah. We just need to get Greg and Joe.
Greg and Joe and,
Yep.
and Matt.
And Matt.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get all those.
Yeah,
guys.
Matt, you can. Yeah, come on. Yeah. But yeah.
How likely is that? It's probably those. Yeah, they're a bunch of dads too, so they don't really have time for much more than that.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
So would we have
Maybe
four
a
guitar
one
players?
time thing.
4 guitar players, 2 bass players, and 1 drummer.
One drummer. Yeah.
Still 1 drummer.
Yeah.
And one really big room.
You need a big stage for that.
Yeah.
I think Dickens is up to it. Yeah.
Just to play around.
Okay, so let's talk about the show on Saturday night.
Sure.
So, I noticed on the Facebook page there isn't sort of any issue or info regarding how much we need to pay to get in. Tickets at the door, right?
$10 at the door. Yeah.
$10.
$10 at the door. Just show up. No need to worry about paying in advance.
I would
No,
think
come on down. $10.
Fantastic. And you guys have an absolutely killer lineup. Like, this is
Yeah.
going to be the place to be this weekend. So you've got Mares of Thrace playing with you, Casey. Like I said, you're doing double duty on that. Balwargoth is going to be joining you guys. Absolutely love seeing those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
and
friends.
and Owls and Eagles, kind of the
Yes.
odd band out on this one. I mean,
Yeah,
a
no,
little
I
bit
know
more
what you're saying,
stoner,
but
a
no.
little bit more psychedelic on that for them. Did you guys immediately go to these guys? Were they your first picks?
Pretty much.
They were
yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I kind of put the show together, and I just wanted to have just bro bands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll throw in
Come on, guys, we're gonna
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
have it all friends and have a good time, have a party, and have.
Yeah, Owls and Eagles played at our
Mhm.
Oracle release show as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was a fun
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, I saw them at a biker bar
Yeah.
one time, and that was a wild show.
Oh, at
I can't even remember. what-
Custom.
Yeah,
Ill-Fated
yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ill-Fated
yeah.
Custom. You were there?
yeah.
Frick, I didn't see you guys.
For
I was-
I was
later.
sitting right in that big comfy chair in the front.
You're
too.
just, yeah.
I got the best seat in the house.
Loafing.
Yeah, I kind of had to like tuck into a corner by the bar just because it was so packed up by the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool place.
Awesome. We're actually like we've plowed through my questions. I was ready to do like a full hour with you guys. Is there anything you guys like really want to make sure we talk about before moving on? Yeah.
No, not really. I mean,
No.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Come to the show.
Come to the show. Have a
Yeah,
good
please
time.
come to the show.
Come to the show. It's gonna be.
Please come to the show.
I mean, like, you can come if you want, but, like, it'd be
I
like
mean, no
cool
big
if you
deal.
did.
I'll be- but
Yeah.
Please come to the show.
So you think you
We're
can
not
come to the
begging
show?
for it, please.
I mean, it's $10. What else?
$10 for 4 bands.
$10.
Yeah.
It's all,
$250 a band.
it's all locals.
Yep.
Come down and have a good time.
Yeah, at Dickens, which is
Yeah.
the place to be. Okay, so Dark Age album release is Saturday night. Francis, please put the camera on me. Thank you very much. Saturday, February 4th at Dickens Pub featuring Mares of Thrace, Balwargoth, Owls and Eagles. Tickets are $10 at the door. Be there or suffer the consequences. This has been another episode of the Analog Universe. Thank you guys so much for coming in. It's a short one today, but a good one, I think. I think it was a good one. So thank you for tuning in, everybody, and good night.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.